WYLN Hazleton. This is WYLN's late edition News at 10 with meteorologist Joe Garbacek, sports with Beth Mensinger, anchors Lisa Sugar and L.A. Tyrone. News, weather, sports, features, and more. You're watching WYLN's late edition News at 10.
Good evening and welcome to WYLN's late edition for Thursday, May 30th, 2013. I'm Lisa Sugart. In less than 24 hours, volunteers from throughout the greater Hazleton area will lace up their sneakers, all in an effort to help find a cure for cancer. The annual Relay for Life will kick off at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Details also tonight on a standoff between Mexico and the United States. In sports, L.A. Tyrone's in for Beth tonight with the latest from the Tricky Triangle as the countdown is on to the party in the Poconos. And meteorologist Joe Garbacek's here to tell us if the weather will cooperate for all your weekend plans. But first, late edition's look at tonight's top stories. Many people have been thinking it, and now a National Transportation Research Group has come up with the same conclusion. Pennsylvania roads need repairs, replacements, and improvements.
It has become an all too familiar scene, the bumpy ride. And while you may have assumed that the problem is just about everywhere, a report issued by Pennsylvania Transportation by the Numbers, or TRIP, confirms that 2 out of every 3 major urban roads in the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre region are in poor or mediocre condition.
There's a cost to doing nothing. The years of avoiding investment in our infrastructure has resulted in a deterioration of our roads. It creates safety problems, creates congestion, and costs motorists.
That's PennDOT Secretary Barry Schock responding to the report. TRIP is a national nonprofit transportation research group. In its report released Wednesday, it concluded that PA drivers are forced to spend $9.4 billion each year on vehicle repair costs, crashes, and traffic congestion that can be directly tied to substandard road conditions in the state.
I don't think anyone ever thinks about, while I'm in sitting traffic, what's it costing me? If I get involved in an accident, what does it cost me on an annual basis? When you add all that up, it's a surprising number, but it's a true number.
And while the problems are easily visible in the cities, the rural areas are not exempt.
We have a high crash rate on rural roads. Even though you might say it's lower volume of traffic, it's very high crash rate on our rural 2-lane roads. Studies have recently been shown in Texas that if we improve those roadways, widening them, improving the shoulders, we can greatly reduce accidents, which reduce costs for motorists. And frankly, if it's you and you live there, don't you want your family members to be safe?
The solution to a smoother and safer ride ultimately comes down to money.
The governor's proposed raising our revenues over a 5-year period by about $1.8 billion a year. That's going to enable us to start making improvements that affect congestion, affect safety, and affect the very things that are driving up the cost for the motorists. If we invest, we can reduce their costs. It's a question of how will government charge you? We're going to charge you to fix the problem, or we're going to ignore it and allow the cost to incur on a basis of safety and congestion. It's your choice.
Until travel improves, the average Pennsylvania driver can expect to dig into his or her pocket and pay more than $1,000 in traffic costs and vehicle repairs, courtesy of roadways in the Keystone State.
Now we'll keep you posted on what transpired if any improvements are planned. The LAG towing contract dispute was front and center at tonight's Wilkes-Barre City Council meeting. Our Gary Perna was there.
The short meeting of the Wilkes-Barre City Council ended with former city tower Bob Kalabowski asking Assistant City Solicitor Bill Vinsko to resign.
The guy who wrote this contract, you're allowed, and I think the thing to bring up is the attorney for the Towing Association, Mike McGovern, what he brought up, how could this be a contract? Something stinks here. We're allowed to charge whatever you want. You just give the city $1,000 a week. I predicted this, I warned everybody, and I don't know if council members were given the copy of the letters. I wrote letters, sent in certified mail, notified everybody before this thing started, what would happen, who would pay. It was the insurance companies and the people who got their cars towed.
Councilman Tony George, who has said in the past that he wants LAG fired, told Kalabowski that they are working on the problem.
Keep blaming the council for not doing anything. Council voted to start the process to terminate the contract. So you can't keep blaming council for not acting on it. Council did act on it.
Councilman Bill Barrett said they are hoping that they are able to put this whole thing behind them soon and move on with other city business.
What is on the table right now is the contract itself. We are hoping, as much as anyone else, that this is resolved so that we can move forward and end these discussions that are taking place every 2 weeks.
In the past months, the FBI has gotten involved in the investigation. Now, LAG pays the city $50,000 a year for the contract to tow cars the city once moved. Only time will tell when and if something or anything will be done with the contract. In Wilkes-Barre, for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Thanks, Gary. A fire damaged the St. Nicholas St. Mary's Elementary School library in Wilkes-Barre this morning. The fire broke out around 5:30 a.m. The school lucked out in that there were no classes today.
Very fortunate. God was good. There was no school in session, nobody in there. And so a lot of good things.
Fire doors prevented the blaze from spreading to the adjacent computer lab and the rest of the school, but damage was severe. This afternoon, the city said the fire was caused by a short in an electrical outlet in the modular building. There were no injuries reported, but because of the fire, there will also be no school there tomorrow as well. If you live in the Wilkes-Barre Area School District, your taxes are going up. The Wilkes-Barre Area School Board adopted a preliminary $103 million budget at a special meeting Wednesday. There's a deficit of about $2.5 million. The board voted to hike taxes, albeit by a small amount. The tax rate will raise from 15.522 mils to 15.6772. Now that will raise $400,000. The final budget is due on June 30th. A big drug bust for a small community, and all the work was done by local police. WYLN's Gary Perna has the details from McAdoo.
15 people were arrested this morning in the borough of McAdoo on drug charges. The 15 were brought into McAdoo's police station today and taken down to Magistrate Judge Bayer's office in Tamaqua. The 15 are Michael Miller, Ashley Sisk, John Curl, Victor Craig, Makuna Kaint, Donald Moyer, Deborah Goez, Terry Rogers, Michael Bogner, Brian Fredericks II, Kyle Miranda, Matthew Barry, Scott White, Daniel Brogan. McAdoo Police Chief Jeff Wainwright said this is a good day for the borough.
We're conducting a drug sweep today called Operation Clean Street. What we're doing, we're picking up 15 felony drug warrants on 15 individuals. For numerous charges for selling heroin, for selling marijuana, prescription drugs, everything. I just want to put it out there that, McAdoo Borough does have a zero tolerance operation in this borough. That's basically, we're really heavy on small stuff to keep the larger stuff out here.
McAdoo Mayor Dane Watrow commended the police department for their work on the sweep. The small police department did the sweep all by themselves without any help from any outside police departments.
And these guys put a lot of sweat and energy into this. And one of my issues that I had in 2009 when I ran for this office was to clean up this borough. And what I believe this police department did is took a big giant broom and brushed everybody up in one pile, and they got them, and that's what we're here to do, protect and serve. And one of my biggest issues right now, as well with the McAdoo Police Department, is keep this community safe, and this is the first way of dealing with it and handling this issue.
McAdoo resident Al Barnhart is glad to see the police department cleaning up the streets.
Yes, it's refreshing to see a drug raid in a small borough like McAdoo. Even though they were street-level dealers that they rounded up, however, you have to start from the bottom and work your way up to the top, which leads to additional arrests. Great that McAdoo Police are taking a proactive approach. I think the mayor and the police department is doing a fantastic job.
Wainwright said they are not done. They still have many open investigations. In McAdoo, for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Thanks, Gary. Well, meanwhile, a drug sweep took place yesterday throughout all of Schuylkill County. It resulted in arrest warrants being served on 10 street-level drug dealers. Detectives from the District Attorney's Office and its Drug Task Force, assisted by the Sheriff's Office, the Attorney General's Office, along with local police departments. The drugs sold included methamphetamine, Suboxone, bath salts, heroin, and marijuana. The names of the 10 people arrested are up on your screen. The 10 alleged dealers were arrested and arraigned before Magistrate Judge David Platchko and are lodged in the county prison. District Attorney Karen Burns-Noon said some of the arrests were triggered by tips to the Schuylkill County Drug Tip Line. Now that number is 1-800-414-1406. It is a serious problem in many communities, people being attacked by dogs right in their own neighborhood. As WYLN reported just this week, 2 residents from the Hazleton area were attacked. Late Edition's Ann Galney reports on what the Hazleton Health Department is doing to stop this growing problem.
It has become an epidemic within the greater Hazleton area, dogs attacking people, and many residents of the area have been complaining of multiple dogs being seen running loose in their neighborhoods. Although most of the dog bites have been from pit bulls, Hazleton Health Department Officer Mark Thompson says it's not the breed of the dog that is aggressive, it's how those particular dogs are raised.
If pit bulls are raised properly, there's no problem with them, but if the owners are irresponsible, that's when we have problems.
Just this week, there were 2 dog attacks. The first happened Monday just before 6 p.m. in the 500 block of Muir Avenue.
A gentleman and his father-in-law who just arrived in the country a few weeks ago were taking a nice leisurely stroll, and these 2 pit bulls came out of the house and ran across the street and began attacking them. And the one gentleman, he had severe injuries on his leg, his thigh, his calf, and his hand, and now he has to miss work and plus suffer the pain.
The owners of the dog were fined for multiple violations, including not having his dogs up to date on their rabies shots since last November. The second attack happened yesterday. Police were called to Hazleton General Hospital for the report of a dog bite victim. They found a 12-year-old girl from West Hazleton who had approached a dog near Giant Food Store on South Locust Street. The girl bent over to see the small white Pomeranian, and it bit her lower lip. The child was treated for a puncture and received rabies shots. Thompson says there are many ways to ensure your dog doesn't hurt anyone.
We want to encourage all dog owners to be responsible about keeping their dogs under their control at all times. If they're in the house, make sure that the door is locked, that they can't push the storm door open. Okay. If they're in the yard, we do recommend that they be tied up so that they can't jump over the fence unless you have a 6-foot fence. And these are simple precautions to take to avoid problems.
Thompson says fines could range up to $300, and if your dog does happen to attack someone, the fine is $500 plus restitution for medical bills. In Hazleton, for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Ann Galney.
Thank you, Ann. Kingston Police Chief Keith Kuiper has retired. He submitted a letter to that effect on Wednesday. Mayor Jim Haggerty declined any comment. Now, there is an internal review of police procedures doing private security details, such as providing security for Wyoming Valley West school events. Kuiper placed himself on administrative leave last month while the review was being done. Haggerty said the investigation is in its final stages and is expected to be completed next week. The Sherman Hills housing complex in Wilkes-Barre is trying to kick out a tenant who refuses to leave. There was a shooting inside Taniqua Williams' apartment back in February. Attorneys for Sherman Hills filed a 3-count suit in county court asking a judge to order her out for violating a provision in her lease. But Williams has appealed a district judge order kicking her out. Williams is 30. She's lived rent-free at the government-subsidized complex for just shy of 4 years. Back on February 25th, police were called to her apartment for a domestic dispute with reports of shots fired. They found a .45 caliber bullet in a wall. They charged 29-year-old Sherman Wilborn with aggravated assault, firing a gun into an occupied structure, and related counts. 2 Pittston men pleaded guilty to federal drug charges. 37-year-old John Eastock and 44-year-old Frank Suriano pleaded guilty to charges related to the sale of 500 grams of cocaine. Senior Judge Edwin Kosick will sentence the 2 after a pre-sentence investigation. The maximum is 40 years each. And an Esquehoning woman was sentenced to 60 months in jail for conviction of drug charges. 23-year-old Bonnie Vosberg has admitted to being part of a ring which sold crack and powder cocaine between January 2011 and last December. State House Republican leaders have introduced a $28.3 billion state budget bill. It spends a little less than the budget unveiled by Governor Corbett in February. The House version spends an additional $100 million for basic education. Totaled, it spends $578 million, or 2.1% more than the current budget. It includes funds to hire 300 new state troopers and reduces waiting lists for mental disability services. It also keeps funding for programs addressing specific diseases like diabetes and epilepsy and the county conservation districts. They were zeroed out of the governor's budget. The proposal does not include any pension changes or anticipate the sale of the state liquor store system. The wicked weather in the Midwest is continuing. Those who live along the Missouri River are preparing for problems. INN's Maureen Wirtz has more.
The water is just immense.
Ted Mintel has spent a lot of time watching the Missouri River.
It's in inches. We really go by inches.
Right now, everything here is under a flash flood warning until Saturday. That means portable bathrooms are drained, and the stuff that could be swept away is packed up.
It's kind of unusual. In May, we normally get rain, but not like this steady.
Hearst says it's important to watch the water and not just the stuff flowing in the Missouri River. In 2011, campers couldn't even make it out to Mintel's Landing. Thousands of miles were covered in water.
You have to understand that when you're on the river, that you just take whatever Mother Nature gives you. And it was one of those things where she gave you an awful lot.
Campers don't have to worry about flooding here until about 28.5 feet. But you see this watermark on the tree right above me? In the flood of 2011, water came in here at 36 feet, 10 inches.
I don't think we'll see a flood 2011 for years to come, hopefully not.
Focusing on the flood just hours away.
Take the risk along with the reward of being on the river. So
the reward, a riverside view. The risk, that view could be swept away in seconds. Maureen Wirtz, INN News.
Well, hopefully there is no flooding to report, but what will the weather be like in our area? Meteorologist Joe Garbaczyk is in now with a preview of our weekend forecast. Joe?
Well, Lisa, it's going to be another hot one as we head into tomorrow. And what about this upcoming weekend? Will we see a cool down? I'll let you know coming up next.
All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Tamaqua, PA is a 3-generation family-owned and operated dealership entering their 33rd year of business and continues to uphold the family philosophy that every customer should be treated as part of the family. Stop in and let them show you how they honor these values. You'll meet a family member in every department, from finding your new car in sales to low interest rates and financing and extending your vehicle's life and service.
Give us the opportunity to show you. We're big enough to serve you, but small enough to know you.
Community Services for Sight will hold the 5th Annual Festival of Sight June 8th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Community Park in Hazel Township. Entertainment, crafts, food, games, tricky trays, airplane rides, a car show, and more. For more information, call Lori 455-0421. Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. Come see for yourself. They have the freshest selection of meats, cheese, and produce. Baked goods made fresh on premises. They have an in-store butcher who is happy to accommodate your special orders. Be sure to stop in and check out their unadvertised specials. You'll find them throughout the store. See their flyer for weekly specials. Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. This week only at Heritage, Pure Organics Russet Potatoes. 5-pound bag, only 99 cents.
When severe weather hits our area, the WILN Weather Center brings you precise weather information you need to plan your day. And now you can get the latest weather conditions online anytime at WILNTV.com. Utilizing the latest technology, meteorologist Joe Garbaczyk brings you the most accurate weather information available, including webcams to view current road conditions and detailed maps of our area. For a full, detailed, and accurate daily weather report, watch WILN Weather with Joe Garbaczyk weekdays at 5 and 10 and online anytime at WILNTV.com.
It is quiet as I speak right now. Our Live 35 Skycast Doppler, nothing to show you, just some ground clutter as you head further out toward the west, but our viewing area, things not looking too bad. It's on a mild side, and we're going to continue to see mild conditions through tonight. We're in the 70s outside our television station in Hazleton. Our live Lehigh tire conditions, 74 degrees to be exact. Pressure coming in at 30.09 inches of mercury, and we have not seen any rainfall since the midnight hour. Our Robert Stevens Face and Body Almanac page for the day, 85 and 67 are split in temperatures. That again is above where we should be for this time of year of 73 and 52. 93 and 37, the record high and low still stand. 535, 828, sunrise and sunset for tomorrow. So we woke up on a relatively mild note. Again, generally upper 50s, lower 60s, and daytime highs today well up into the 80s with some locations in the lower 90s. Temperature-wise right now, 68 in New Angola, 75 in Berwick, 74 in Bloomsburg, 74 in Monterey City, and 75 in Danville. Satellites and radar. There was a few isolated pop-up showers and storms out there earlier, but they really didn't amount to a whole lot. There weren't a lot of them out there, and just about all of our viewing areas stay dry. I notice now really not much happening, just some ground clutter out there. So over the next couple of hours, heading into tonight, not much going on, kind of quiet. Tomorrow, there is that isolated chance of a shower or storm. It will be hot. Most locations in the 90s, some in the upper 80s. And as we go into our Saturday, looks like a couple of scattered showers or a thunderstorm will develop. And then going into our Sunday, some more showers and thunderstorms out there and bringing in some cooler temperatures. Tomorrow, 80s, some lower 90s out there. And then notice how mild it will be heading into our Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. Temperatures already in the 80s. So sticky and hot as we end our work week. Cool and comfortable as we start early next week. And temperature-wise, it's going to feel even milder, more hot, if you will, than what the actual air temperature indicates for tomorrow. If you have to be outdoors, wear that sunscreen. Take a lot of breaks. Stay well hydrated. Drink plenty of liquids. 90s, maybe some upper 80s, especially in the higher elevations, an isolated shower or storm. Extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys, a division of Arc Electric. It gets a little bit cooler for the weekend. Some showers and thunderstorms, lower 80s, lower 70s for Monday, a few leftover showers. And then after that, pleasant and comfortable. Mid to upper 60s heading into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Our evening Pennsylvania lottery numbers, the daily 038, the big 4, 5193. Quinto numbers 08980, cash 5, 29, 23, 25, and 33. Lisa.
Thank you, Joe. Well, coming up, the annual Relay for Life for the Greater Hazleton unit of the American Cancer Society kicks off tomorrow at 5 in a brand new location. All the details are next on Late Edition.
Welcome to Robert Stevens Face and Body, Hazleton's complete skincare center. Here, our licensed specialists will consult with you to discuss your skincare needs, rejuvenate you with our special facial treatments, and apply gentle, relaxing massages to melt your tension away, using all state-of-the-art technical treatments and superior skin products. So call today and let the transformation begin at Robert Stevens Face and Body, 788-7546.
It's known as the Tricky Triangle, a track whose sum total equals a challenge like nowhere else.
Smoke is boiling between Bush and Johnson.
It is Pocono Raceway, where the first race was won by a king. Every race is full throttle to the photo finish.
Virtual dead heat.
And wrecks are not the end, but the start of a comeback. This is Pocono Raceway, where history is measured in right angles.
Hi, I'm Liz Tolan. I'd like to invite you to the first annual COPS event. It's taking place on September 21st right here at the Butler Township Community Center. This event, brought to you by WYLN 35 in Hazleton, the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance, and other area sponsors, will consist of a 5K run, 5K walk, kids fun run, open air concert, free cookout for the community, crafters, tricky trays, and so much more. Proceeds from this event will go to benefit 4 area police departments. When you call these men and the men and women they serve with, they're going to be there for you. Won't you take one day out of your busy schedule and be there for them?
When it comes to the Wire Guys, you are going to have an amazing experience. And if it means giving you back your money, plus, I'm going to do it. We guarantee everything. 112% money back guarantee. Labor and material guaranteed for a year. So you don't really need to worry about it. You're going to walk up to the wall, throw the switch, put your power cords in the outlets, and everything is the way it's supposed to be. Call me. Your time is valuable. If we're late, you get paid.
Go Hog Wild for Iron Pigs Baseball. WILN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs Live, America's favorite pastime on your local network, WILN TV 35. See the Major League Stars of tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WILN TV 35. Visit WILNTV.com for a complete Iron Pig schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WILN, your home for live sports.
Welcome back to Late Edition. Well, it is hard to believe it, but tomorrow the Relay for Life will officially kick off here in the greater Hazleton area, and I'm pleased to welcome back two of the ladies who were instrumental in this event. Michelle Connors, who is the chair for Relay for Life for the greater Hazleton unit of the American Cancer Society, and Judy Fellon, who is a very active volunteer in the League of Volunteers that ACS has. Can you believe it that it's tomorrow already?
No, I can't. I think I should be home sleeping right now, but it's going to be great. The adrenaline will get me through it, through the 36 or whatever hours I'm going to be awake. With all the band's going to lead us off, the Hazleton High School Band, that's always nice. And just all the entertainment, the DJs, the bands we have playing, and all the celebrations and services we're going to have. It's going to be great.
5 o'clock tomorrow is where it all kicks off. Brand new location this year. It is the track at Cougar Park, which is right next to Hazleton Area High School. How excited are you about this new location?
A new location is always a little scary, but I'm so excited about it. It's going to be good. It's going to be accessible to our survivors in wheelchairs and you know, who have trouble walking. So that's what we relay for, our survivors, and to find a cure to this disease. That's why we're there doing it. That's why we relay.
All righty, and when we are relaying, there is so much for you to do. If you didn't sign up for a team, that's okay. If you did, we say thank you. But if you didn't, Judy, you want everybody who is watching this to come out, because this is for the whole community to take part in.
It definitely is. It's for the whole community. You don't have to be on a team. Anyone can come out, bring your children. We have children's activities on Saturday, starting at noontime till 4 p.m. We have Rainbow the Clown, Arts and Crafts, Tux the Penguin, few of the things we're going to have going on. We have entertainment pretty much round the clock from Friday on, so it's, yes, carnival games, yes.
Carnival games, too, so a really festive atmosphere. It is like going to a big party. They're too quick for me here. I can't get it all in. Great food that I guess a lot of the teams and people donate a lot of this food.
Yes, they do, yes. And food is available just for donation. You make a donation and you can have food.
Good homemade food.
Oh, it's homemade food. You know Hazleton, we know how to throw a party.
That is true. And there's a theme for all of this. So we're going to see a creative theme this year. So tell us a little about that, Michelle.
This year we want to close the book on cancer. The theme is literature, so all of the teams will be dressing in, their tents will be decorated in different book characters. We have a t-shirt contest. They'll be decorating their t-shirts in their characters also. It's a lot of fun, and you never know what book they're going to come up with. They're very talented.
I was amazed when I saw some of the things in past years that they have come up with, you know, all the creativity and a lot of hard work goes into this. People are volunteering a lot of time, they're donating money, everything. So this is really a big event.
It is, and we have a lot of fun. We're there to have fun. When you're up 24 plus hours, you have to have fun, you have to stay awake. So it's a party, it's a celebration, and we're remembering. We don't forget why we're there. We remember everyone, and it gets you through, because people with cancer go through so much. So if we have to stay up 24 hours walking the track, that's just a little portion of, that's what we can do. If that's what we can give back, that's what we do. Because to walk in the shoes of someone, you know, going through all the treatments, I don't wish that on anybody. I wish no one had to go through it. We really need to close the book on cancer.
Well, this is a major fundraiser, one of the largest around, and I know that this relay in Hazleton has always brought in a ton of money to help with the war against cancer, and I'm sure they're going to do it again. And there's just so much going on that day, and I just can't emphasize enough how people should come out and take part in it. And one of the most talked about, I guess, events is always the Luminaria ceremony, and so that's going to be taking place Saturday after another special event, though, at 11 o'clock on Saturday?
The Luminary service, Lisa, is actually Friday evening.
I'm getting confused with the walk.
Yes, it's the Survivor Celebration, that's on Saturday, but the Luminaria service is on Friday night. So really, it would be fun for people to come out and see the teams as they walk their first lap, because they'll be introduced, and some of them will be in costume. As you said, you've seen how their tents will be decorated, but they'll be in costume, and it's a lot of fun. The band will be leading that march, and then later, when it gets dark, they'll light the candles, the luminarias. I believe they're going to be around the track. Weather permitting, we have our fingers crossed, and talked to Joe Garbachuk about that, too. So,
and that's a beautiful sight.
It is. Yes, it is. Definitely. So we really want everyone to come out. You do not have to be a member of a team. We'd love to have you on a team, but just come out and enjoy it.
And then on Saturday will be the Survivor Celebration.
Yes. The Survivor Celebration, I believe, is at 11 a.m. And yes, we honor the survivors and their caregivers with a little luncheon and have a speaker, and then they have the Survivors Lap, and we have everyone come out and everyone cheers for them. So it's a very touching lap then too. So a lot of emotions, that relay, but lots of fun. Definitely lots of fun.
Well, there's going to be so much happening entertainment-wise, food-wise, tricky trays, and I know that the American Cancer Society is like an expert in tricky trays, I believe. They always have awesome ones, and that's my favorite of everybody's around. So, Michelle, I guess, you know, it's almost here. What can you say to convince people that if they haven't made up their mind to come, that they will?
Once you experience relay, you will be back. Don't be afraid. Come. See what's going on. There's on-site fundraising. I know there's a lot of tricky tray or basket raffle fanatics out there. Come, join in, win wonderful prizes. There's tents have games. Everyone has something to do. It's a lot of fun, a lot of things to win. And once you're there, once you experience, you'll be back. You will be back.
Well, my hats go off to you ladies and to the throngs of volunteers that make it possible. Again, the Relay for Life will kick off tomorrow at 5 p.m., and that is at the track at Cougar Park, which is right by Hazleton Area High School, so it's very easy access. As Michelle said, their new location, so keep that in mind. Come on out, whether you're on a team or not. Support this wonderful cause, and they look forward to seeing you. So come on, girls. Get those. Are you ready to relay? We know you are. They are too, so they hope to see you there tomorrow.
The Video Game Store. Buy, sell, and trade all classic and modern games and systems. 28th South Main Street in Wilkes-Barre. Open Monday through Saturday, noon till 6. Call 822-9929.
Cuz it don't look like a restaurant. Schmisket time. Dude, it's midnight. 24/7 style. Time to cook up some abs. Oh no, she didn't.
And she had the nerve to speak to me. We're not even friends anymore.
Yes, she. Mac and cheese for me.
Touch the screen. Get the awesome food.
The Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce welcomes all vendors and crafters to participate in a downtown Hazleton Farmers Market beginning Saturday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 20 West Broad Street. To become a vendor, call 570-455-1509 or email info@hazletonchamber.org.
If you haven't found the perfect fishing getaway, you haven't been to Captain's Cove. Located on Henderson Harbor in upstate New York, Captain's Cove offers a variety of accommodations to please just about anyone. The motel, also located on the harbor, offers a magnificent view. Enjoy free morning coffee, air-conditioned rooms, cable TV, and HBO. The cottage can accommodate up to 8 people with 3 bedrooms, a complete kitchen, washer, dryer, 2 full baths, air conditioning, and outside grill and picnic table. Call us today for rates and information at 1-800-824-FISH.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Cloud. Recently, I interviewed a constitutional attorney, and he made the point that one of the most important things we need to do to make government better is for state legislators to shore up states' rights. This week, I'm joined by State Representative Tara Toohill of the 116th District. We'll talk about liquor privatization, pensions, and the state budget, and what she is doing to enforce and enhance states' rights. This week on The Storm, only on WYLN.
And the first half of sports is up and running. NASCAR came to Pocono Raceway this week for testing. Our Nate Jurgis was there.
400 is only 1 week away. This week, 6 of NASCAR's best came to Pocono Raceway to test out the Gen 6 car on the Tricky Triangle. Danica Patrick, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton, Ryan Newman, and Paul Menard all made laps around the track before the big race. With the now year-old pavement starting to fade and lose grip, the Gen 6 car is making up for it.
It doesn't really feel a lot different than it did last year. I think, with the car having a little more grip, the racetrack losing a little bit of grip just from the winter and age in the year is everything is driving pretty much the same as it did last year. So how we get there from the setups and how we achieve that is much different than the past. But from a driver's standpoint, it's a lot of the same markers and things that you use of let-off points and back in the throttle.
And with the track's long straightaways, it makes it one of a kind.
This is a really unique racetrack. It really gives you a long time to think about what you're going to do next. And a lot of racetracks you go to, you're there before you can, before you think a whole lot about it. Here, you think about it some more, and you think about it some more. Sometimes you second guess yourself. Well, maybe I shouldn't do that, and it's a very unique situation.
But those long straightaways bring traditional passing, making it difficult.
If you go through the corners well, you're going to go down the straightaways well. And these corners are long, and they lead to long straights that if you do get through the corners well, you look like you have 50 more horsepower than a guy that didn't. And so you have to have good horsepower. But what makes that horsepower work is getting through the corner. And passes at every racetrack are made through the corner. Even though you see them on the straights, they're made in the corner. And this track, you really see it because the straights are so long.
And without the right team, it can be a challenge.
I mean, it's a challenging track. It's challenging not just for the driver, but it's challenging for the crew chief. And you have to have both of those people. I mean, the driver can carry a car, and the crew chief can carry a driver at times. But this racetrack here, I think you have to have the best of both worlds.
Pocono will always be known for not only its trickiness, but its beautiful outdoors, which Newman says he loves.
Like I said, I really enjoy the area. I enjoy a lot of time fishing and enjoying the outdoors up here, as well as the racetrack.
The party in the Poconos 400, presented by Walmart, is set for next Sunday at 1. Make sure to join us next Friday for more from Pocono Raceway. Nathan Jurgis, WYLN Sports.
All right, Nate's a big racing fan. He loves going to Pocono every year. Keep in mind the weather also affects how the tires interact with the track. Well, Pete Rose's appearance at Coca-Cola Park on Father's Day has been canceled. Now, the Iron Pigs say it was due to circumstances outside of their control and that it will not be rescheduled. Rose was scheduled to sign autographs and throw out the first pitch as part of that 1980 Philadelphia Phillies World Championship team. We've got more sports for you in about 15 minutes or so. Coming up next, Lisa's got the recap. Stay here. It's Late Edition on WYLN.
For a dealer that will take the time to get to know our needs.
And hook me up with something that has some all-wheel drive and some power. Bam!
And what will you be using the car for primarily?
Cycling, snowboarding, kayaking,
Gardening, antiquing, and commuting to work.
I've got just the car.
And we've got just the dealer.
The right car.
The right price.
The right dealer. Fairway Subaru. Yeah.
Join us this week on Women Today. It's part 2 of our senior care series. Dr. Benyo is back in the house. He's going to talk to you about keeping fit at any age. Later in the show, Anne-Marie File from Providence Place is going to tell you about her great facility and the many programs they have to keep seniors fit and healthy. Later in the show, we're going to tell you who won those great giveaways, and we're going to tell you how you can do good and help out 4 area police departments. It's all coming up on Women Today. Join us.
Recapping tonight's top stories, many people have been thinking it, and now a national transportation research group has come up with the same conclusion. Pennsylvania roads need repairs, replacements, and improvements. It has become an all too familiar scene, the bumpy ride. And while you may have assumed that the problem is just about everywhere, a report issued by Pennsylvania Transportation by the Numbers, or TRIP, confirms that 2 out of every 3 major urban roads in the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre region are in poor or mediocre condition.
There's a cost to doing nothing. The years of avoiding investment in our infrastructure has resulted in a deterioration of our roads. It creates safety problems, creates congestion, and costs motorists.
That's PennDOT Secretary Barry Schock responding to the report. TRIP is a national nonprofit transportation research group. In its report released Wednesday, it concluded that PA drivers are forced to spend $9.4 billion each year on vehicle repair costs, crashes, and traffic congestion that can be directly tied to substandard road conditions in the state.
I don't think anyone ever thinks about, while I'm sitting in traffic, what's it costing me? If I get involved in an accident, what does it cost me on an annual basis? When you add all that up, it's a surprising number, but it's a true number.
And while the problems are easily visible in the cities, the rural areas are not exempt.
We have a high crash rate on rural roads. So even though you might say it's lower volume of traffic, it's very high crash rate on our rural 2-lane roads. Studies have recently been shown in Texas that if we improve those roadways, widening them, improving the shoulders, we can greatly reduce accidents, which reduce costs for motorists. And frankly, if it's you and you live there, don't you want your family members to be safe?
The solution to a smoother and safer ride ultimately comes down to money.
The governor's proposed raising our revenues over a 5-year period by about $1.8 billion a year. That's going to enable us to start making improvements that affect congestion, affect safety, and affect the very things that are driving up the cost for the motorists. If we invest, we can reduce their costs. It's a question of how will government charge you? We're going to charge you to fix the problem, or we're going to ignore it and allow the cost to incur on a basis of safety and congestion. It's your choice.
Until travel improves, the average Pennsylvania driver can expect to dig into his or her pocket and pay more than $1,000 in traffic costs and vehicle repairs, courtesy of roadways in the Keystone State. And finally tonight, the LAG towing contract dispute was front and center at tonight's Wilkes-Barre City Council meeting. Gary Perna was there.
The short meeting of the Wilkes-Barre City Council ended with former city tower Bob Kalabowski asking Assistant City Solicitor Bill Vinsko to resign.
The guy who wrote this contract, you're allowed, and I think the thing to bring up is the attorney for the Towing Association, Mike McGovern, when he brought up, how could this be a contract? Something stinks here. We're allowed to charge whatever you want. You just give the city $1,000 a week. I predicted this, I've warned everybody, and I don't know if council members were given the copy of the letters. I wrote letters, sent in certified mail, notified everybody before this thing started, what would happen, who would pay. It was the insurance companies and the people who got their cars stolen.
Councilman Tony George, who has said in the past that he wants LAG fired, told Kalabowski that they are working on the problem.
Keep blaming the council for not doing anything. The council voted to start the process to terminate the contract. So you can't keep blaming council for not acting on it. Council did act on it.
Councilman Bill Barrett said they are hoping that they're able to put this whole thing behind them soon and move on with other city business.
What is on the table right now is the contract itself. We are hoping, as much as anyone else, that this is resolved so we can move forward and end these discussions that are taking place every 2 weeks.
In the past months, the FBI has gotten involved in the investigation. Now LAG pays the city $50,000 a year for the contract to tow cars the city once moved. Only time will tell when and if something or anything will be done with the contract. In Wilkes-Barre, for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Thanks, Gary, and that's a look at tonight's top story recaps. When we come back, a standoff between the United States and Mexico. We have the latest. Plus, LA is back in with the second half of sports.
We've got some heat to talk about for tomorrow. Find out how hot in just a few.
All Care Home Care.
the health care that you need in the comfort and privacy of your own home.
At All Care Home Care, our caring and compassionate staff of skilled nurses, occupational, speech, physical therapists, dietitian, social worker, and home health aides will give you the professional care you need. Call 459-3002.
With All Care Home Care, you will feel so much better and be able to do so much more.
Remember, it's still your choice. For your care, call us and we'll be there.
The friendly people at Pantry Quick at the corner of Diamond Avenue and Cybert Streets in Hazleton for decades has been your first stop for lottery tickets, munchies, and soda. Now Pantry Quick is your first stop for 6-packs of your favorite beer. All the domestic name brands such as Budweiser, Coors Light, and Miller Lite, Landshark, and Yuengling. Pantry Quick also carries a large variety of imports and craft beers. Stop in today to Pantry Quick, now carrying all your favorite beers at the corner of Diamond Avenue and Cybert Streets in Hazleton.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Hey, neighbor. Lousy weather, huh?
This is not a good time.
For it to be raining and my satellite dish to lose its signal? Man, I heard that. Mind if I watch your cable?
Look, my kid's having a sleepover.
Right. I'll just watch it on your bedroom set.
Service Electric Digital Cable with On Demand. The best TV in the neighborhood.
Join us this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. We'll be joined by Libby Cinto, who is going to tell our viewers why, if you're in pain, don't let a language barrier stop you from getting help and being the best that you can be. Her courageous story coming up this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. Join us.
It may become a diplomatic standoff between the United States and Mexico. An Arizona woman is in a Mexican prison. Mexico says she was smuggling drugs. She says she's in jail because she would not pay corrupt officials bribes. INN has the details.
It's like a nightmare. I don't wish this to anybody.
It's been more than a week since Mexican authorities arrested Yanira Maldonado and locked her away in a women's prison. She and her husband were returning to the U.S. from a funeral when Mexican authorities stopped the bus they were on, ordered the passengers off, and said they found 12 pounds of marijuana where she was sitting.
They say they found something under my seat, but I never saw anything. They didn't show me anything. It's just amazing, what they did.
The mother of 7 says she could not believe what was happening to her.
I thought maybe that was a setup or a joke or something. I was just waiting for that to end. But I realized that it's real. That I'm being detained.
We're hoping for the best outcome, and I told her about all the support on the outside, and she had a big smile on her face. We don't think they have a case.
Her family believes she was framed, set up by corrupt officials in search of a bribe.
That I'm innocent. That I'm a good mom. I love the gospel and all the support that I've been getting from my family, my husband.
Hearings in the case are scheduled to continue on Friday. Loved ones are hopeful the judge will dismiss the case and set her free immediately. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Hopefully it will be resolved soon. When we come back, LA's in with the second half of sports, and Joe recaps your weekend forecast. We'll be right back.
Enjoy the great outdoors at the Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range's Trap, Skeet, and Sporting Clays course. No waiting and no lines. First time shooting? Whitetail Preserve employs certified instructors to help you get the most out of your experience. Hungry? The restaurant at Whitetail has a great menu to satisfy and offers catering for all occasions. Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, approximately 13 miles west of Hazleton and just 1 hour from Allentown, Redding, and the Delaware Water Gap. 118 Boulevard Road, just off the Rockland Road near Rockland. 384-2314.
Longing for the warm days of summer? Well, you can get your favorite taste of summer right now. Rita's on the Airport Road in Hazel Township is now open for the season. Check out their new ice flavors like chocolate chip cookie dough ice, plus all your favorites like gelati, mistos, blendinis, milkshakes, and new for spring, unlimited topping sundaes. Why choose just one when you can have them all for one low price? Rita's, now open. Stop in today.
During these changing times, is your insurance program up to date? I'm local Allstate agent Gary McNeilis. I invite you to come into our office or give us a call. We'll help you be sure that you have the proper coverage to take care of all your family's needs at a price you can afford. Now more than ever, you need to be in good hands to protect everything that's important to you. Our team of insurance professionals and I will be honored to serve you. Are you in good hands?
At Cuck's Turkey Farm, we are family owned and operated for over 45 years, and we consistently strive to produce premium poultry. We offer the finest all-natural country poultry, antibiotic-free, all-vegetarian fed with superior white meat yield and exceptional flavor. So we invite you to experience the unique natural taste of our poultry for your enjoyment and your health. Give us a call or stop in today.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the greater Hazleton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
WILN Sports, broadcasting live June 8th and 9th at the Weatherly Hill Climb. WILN Sports will take you up the hill, past the Devil's Hook, around the hairpin turn, and through the Dutchman. All the turn-by-turn coverage of the Weatherly Hill Climb, live on WILN TV 35. Saturday, June 8th from noon to 4 p.m. Sunday, June 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. WILN, the station to turn to when you want live sports. WILN, we're your local network.
All right, second half of sports up and running. The Mets put shortstop Ruben Tejada on the stable list today with a right quadriceps strain. Now, he suffered that injury chasing a foul ball during the ninth inning of last night's game at Yankee Stadium. He left with 1 out remaining in the Mets' 9-4 win. Mets promoted Omar Quintana from AAA Las Vegas. Tejada, highly touted, only hitting .209 with 10 RBIs. Hall of Famer George Brett is the new interim batting coach of the Kansas City Royals. Brett had helped the team in spring training. He's done so for years, but has turned down full-time job offers, including the opportunity to manage, because he said he didn't want to deal with the daily grind. That might be changing. Royals are stuck in an 8-game losing streak, and they haven't scored more than 3 runs in their last 6 games. Brett replaces Jack Maloof and Andre David, who had been reassigned to the minor league organization. Hideki Matsui will sign a 1-day minor league contract with the Yankees on July 28th to announce his official retirement that day as a Yankee. Matsui played 7 seasons with the Bombers, hitting .292 and 140 home runs. He came here after 10 seasons with the Yomiuri Giants in Japan. Well, several sources are saying New York Rangers players pressed GM Glenn Sather into firing John Tortorella's coach. New York Daily News said multiple players, including what it termed top guys, pushed for it. The report did not specify which players. Hockey Night in Canada also aired a story saying goalie Henrik Lundqvist had a non-committal response to a question about re-signing in New York, and that was because of Tortorella. Miami's LeBron James and Indiana's David West were fined $5,000 each by the NBA for flopping in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. In the play-in question, James is covering West. West goes to the post. The two make contact, and then the two of them flop to the ground. Now, that was when the fine was leveled. Also fined for flopping was Indiana's Lance Stevenson for his blatant attempt to try to get a foul called on Ray Allen. And New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski will undergo yet another surgery this offseason. This time for his back. He is tentatively scheduled for surgery in mid-June. Now, he won't make the beginning of training camp. It's not immediately known how much time he will miss. Gronkowski had 11 touchdowns last season among his 55 receptions for 790 yards. He's appeared in 43 games since being drafted by the Patriots in 2010, has 187 receptions for just under 2,700 yards and 30 touchdowns. Let's go to the scoreboards. Fairly busy one tonight. And we start in the Eastern League where you see the Fightins lose to Boeing. Let's roll on. In the International League, the Iron Pigs in a slugfest with Rochester, and the Rail Riders beat Norfolk in that one. We're jumping to the Major Leagues where Pittsburgh wins 1-0. Pirates are hot lately. Tampa Bay over Miami. Cleveland beats Cincinnati. Cincinnati in a little bit of a slump of late. Roll on. Boston and the Phillies. Phillies get hammered. It's Minnesota beating Milwaukee and Houston beating Colorado in the 6th. Don't wait for me. Roll on. Kansas City and St. Louis. Dodgers and the Angels 1-1 in the 3rd. The A's are actually losing to the Giants. How about that? Baltimore over Washington. Mets and the Yankees. And Toronto getting blown out by the Braves. And what else we got? Arizona and Texas. That one's a final. The Cubs and the White Sox is a final. Seattle's a final. In the NBA, they're in the 4th. Miami beating Indiana 83-70. That is Game 7. Marty and I talked about that today, and he said if LeBron James wants to be considered along the lines of a Michael Jordan, he better score 40 points tonight. Joe will wrap it up with the forecast when we come back. Stay here. It's late.
Managing risk is more than just buying an insurance policy. At Dreyfus, our approach is different. We have 25 risk management professionals who have the tools and experience to help our clients avoid and survive unexpected events. We can help you with risk transfer, OSHA requirements, safe workplace, cybersecurity, and claims management. All of these go well beyond an insurance policy. We're also independent, so we can access dozens of insurance carriers like Grange Insurance, who can insure your auto, home, business, and life. Dreyfus Insurance since 1901 and Grange Insurance since 1935. We're committed to helping you manage risk.
WYLN-CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the children's programming report is on file for public inspection at WYLN, 1057 East 10th Street, Hazleton, PA, during normal business hours, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday.
The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated at 542 North Wyoming Street in Hazleton, serving the greater Hazleton area since 1890 and still family owned and operated, offers convenient parking, handicapped accessibility, seating for over 150 people, casket, cremation product showrooms to accommodate traditional, cremation, and pre-planned funerals. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated, 570-454-3341.
Pennsylvania's filled with interesting things. You just need to know where to look. Come with us, off the beaten path.
Well, we continue to be in the 70s outside our television station in Hazleton. We got through today staying on the dry side of things. No precipitation out there. Nothing to show you. Live 35 Skycast Doppler across our area continues to remain dry. We continue to see that mild air in place across the northeast, and it's going to get hot heading into tomorrow. Still in the 70s up in the Wyoming Valley area. You see a few clouds here and there, but other than that, no precipitation falling. Heading into tomorrow, maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm. That's about it. And then going into our Saturday, a couple of scattered showers or a thunderstorm around. And then Sunday, we're going to be looking at a number of showers and thunderstorms overspreading our area, and that's going to bring in some cooler air as we start going into next week. But it will be hot and sticky heading into tomorrow, and this pattern will stick with us and then cooler by the second part of the weekend and early next week. Extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys, a division of Arc Electric. Hot one for tomorrow. Take it easy if you have to be outdoors. Many locations will be in the 90s and then in the 80s as we head into the weekend, showers and thunderstorms, and then 60s going into next week.
Warm weather and you're getting a cold.
Hey, you get cold all year round, you can have it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to be now. We're supposed to be enjoying the nice weather. Maybe it's triggered by allergies.
Probably a mixture of everything, I
think everybody's
Yeah.
being bothered by that, but we hope you're feeling better tomorrow, Kevin.
Oh, we hope so.
I don't know. Hopefully you're not getting any of these summer colds or allergy problems, but you just never know, right? All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. We will be back here tomorrow, first with Topic A at 5 and then Late Edition at 10. Good night.
Helping your dollars go further every day. Stay here for fantastic bargains. This is Penny's Classifieds from WY.